3 years ago, I whispered of a time when an accident stole my legs, my independence, and nearly my will to live. Yet, in that darkness, it gifted me him in a way I never anticipated. To begin, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to my amazing subscribers. Your support allows me to weave narratives that explore the intricate and unrefined aspects of existence. This tale is intricate. Stay close to me. The doctors remarked that I had a stroke of fortune. Fortune smiled upon me as the semi-truck narrowly missed, turning me into a mere memory. Fortune smiled upon me, sparing my spine from a tragic fate. Fortune smiled upon me that night, for my son Jace was not in the car with me. Fortunate, they remarked. A humorous term for a lady who finds herself unable to take more than 10 steps without her legs. Protesting loudly. Our quaint Ohio home once felt vast and empty. During the hours Jace was away at school. Now it seems a bit cramped. He seems to be all around us, preparing meals, arranging my pillows, and gently lifting me into the shower when my strength wanes. My dear boy. My companion. Aw. But here lies the truth that remains unspoken when one embarks on the journey of parenthood. At the tender age of 16, once upon a time, they blossomed into adulthood, truly elevated. Jace stood tall, but at 19, he had grown broad as well. His hands bear the marks of labor, roughened by the toil of construction work. His voice resonates with a rich depth, and his eyes. God gazed into his eyes, just as his father's was. The moment the pregnancy test revealed its secret, they vanished from my life. Mother. I leap. Jace lingers in the doorway, cradling a bowl of steaming soup. A moment suspended in time. It seems that lunch has eluded you today. I found no desire for food. You are never truly present. With a furrowed brow, he places the bowl on my nightstand. Are your legs feeling strong today? I remain silent. He is aware. He possesses an uncanny awareness. He takes a seat on the edge of my bed without a word, casually rolling up my sweatpants. My breath catches. The scars tell a tale of struggle, a canvas of twisted skin adorned with jagged lines, remnants of the battles fought through surgeries. Jace's fingers linger in the air, poised and ready. May I? I give a knowing nod. The initial contact feels detached and methodical, working the tight muscles encircling my knee. But then his thumb discovers a knot near my inner thigh, and I bite my lip. You're wound up tight, he whispers. You truly have no idea. His hands ascend, reaching for the heights above. Just the right amount to stir my senses, enough to quicken my heartbeat. It's merely the warmth of his skin, I remind myself. The soothing sensation of pain dissolving into nothingness. But when his fingertips graze the edge of my shorts, I find myself holding my breath. Jace halts as well. In that fleeting moment, for a heartbeat, neither of us stirs. He takes a moment to clear his throat, then gently tugs at my pant leg, pulling it down. Improved? Absolutely not. Indeed. Thank you, darling. He lingers in silence, as if words are dancing on the tip of his tongue, yearning to spill forth. Instead, he lifts the soup bowl and departs. I gaze at the ceiling, reliving those fleeting moments when his touch nearly ventured beyond the edge. And for the first time in years, I sense a flicker of something beyond the shadows of pain. A perilous situation. The second time his fingers brushed against my skin, I realized it transcended the mere connection of my legs. The morning light poured through the curtains, too bright and too cheerful, clashing with the tempest swirling within my mind. I found myself wide awake. Each time I shut my eyes, I could sense Jace's hands on me, warm and calloused, lingering in the air like a whispered secret. I reassured myself that it was merely a trivial matter. A young lad lending a hand to his beloved mother, a gentle hand soothing the ache. Yet, the sensation of my skin igniting beneath his touch, that was not pain. The creak of Jace's door down the hall pulled me back to the present moment. I swiftly tucked the blanket over my lap, as though he could glimpse the whirlwind of thoughts swirling in my mind, echoes of footsteps. Then, his silhouette loomed large in my doorway. You're up early, he remarked, his voice gravelly from slumber. He stood there, bare-chested, with sweatpants hanging low on his hips. A tattoo curled over his ribs, a mark of rebellion from last year, one he'd chosen without my input. I averted my gaze, rest eluded me. Legs once more. Absolutely not. Once upon a time, there was you, and then there was you again. I gave a nod. Jace entered with a sigh, taking a seat beside me just as he had done the night before. He drew back the blanket without a word, his hands finding their way to my bare calf. I recoiled, apologies slipped from his lips, barely audible, chilled fingers. Yet, it wasn't the chill in the air that set my nerves on edge. His fingers pressed into my skin, slow and deliberate, weaving a tale of sensation that lingered in the air, as if he were etching the contours of my being into his mind. You're tense in every way, he whispered. I took a deep breath. Last night, I could weave a tale that it was merely an accident. Yet, in the bright light of day, it was undeniable how his thumb ascended in a graceful arc. How his palm glided up the back of my thigh. Jace, take a moment to unwind. His voice resonated with a richness that was more profound than ever before. You're battling against it. I was not resisting the massage. I found myself in a struggle, grappling with the way my body responded to him. The moment my breath caught as his fingertips brushed against the hem of my shorts was electric. The moment my stomach nodded as I felt his gaze upon me. Not in the way a son gazes upon his mother, as a man gazes upon a woman. A knock at the front door interrupted the stillness of the moment. Jace recoiled. Are you awaiting the arrival of someone special? Absolutely not, he rose, his muscles rippling as he reached out in a grand stretch. I shall retrieve it. I let out a breath, unsteady, the sensation lingered on my skin. A reminder of his touch that sent shivers through me. Whispers floated through the air from the living room. Mrs. Calloway, our ever-curious neighbor, inquired if we required anything from the store. Jace's gracious decline. The door gently shut, sealing off the world beyond. Upon his return, his face held a mystery that was impossible to decipher. Do you think she has an inkling? He inquired. My heart ceased to beat. What are the suspects up to? He wore a sly grin. Ah, the tale of the casserole dish, a symbol of generosity and forgotten debts. We never returned it to her, a small yet significant detail from last month's gathering. I let out a laugh, though my hands shook for just a fleeting moment. I feared he was referring to us. On that fateful night, the rain pounded relentlessly against the windows, creating a symphony of nature's fury. As the tempest raged, it swept through the land, extinguishing the light and plunging everything into darkness. Shrouding the abode in shadows, Jace ignited the candles, their dancing flames casting shadows that wove intricate patterns across his visage. He settled next to me on the couch, just within reach, allowing me to sense the warmth emanating from him. Are you feeling chilly? He inquired. Absolutely not, deceiver. He wrapped a blanket around us regardless, our legs brushed beneath it. Neither of us dared to step back. The wind wailed and whispered through the night, a haunting melody that danced around the corners of the world. A tree branch scraped against the roof, reminiscent of fingernails dragging across a surface. Then his hand discovered mine. It was no mere coincidence, not a mere brush, his fingers intertwined with mine, strong and confident. I ought to have stepped back. I did not. In the flickering candlelight, his eyes appeared as deep as the night. A cautionary tale, a query, a heartfelt request. With a sudden hum, the electricity returned, bathing the room in a warm glow. We separated as if a flame had scorched us. But what about the current that flows between us? That remained. Just a single kiss, that was all it took to shatter our bond, and transform us into something we were never meant to become. When the lights went out, the world transformed in an instant. For 3 days following that night on the couch, Jace and I navigated our lives as if we were mere strangers. Each step carefully measured and laden with unspoken words, respectful. Proceed with caution, starving for something more. His gaze was fixed on my lips as I spoke. A silent fascination unfolding in the air between us. His hands hesitated, a gentle touch as he assisted me to my feet. Once, I spun around too quickly and discovered him savoring the fragrance of my hair where it had grazed his shoulder. We were a spark waiting to ignite. And then, the explosion unfolded. On a Tuesday, it all began. Jace had just returned home from a long day at work, the scent of sweat and the warmth of summer clinging to him. He cast aside his boots, the white t-shirt clinging to his chest, marked by the sweat that had soaked through. Are you all right? He inquired, acknowledging the rigidity of my stance on the couch, merely aching. I conjured a smile, a day that stretched on endlessly, silently. He approached and gently placed my legs across his lap. My breath hitched as his fingers pressed into my calf. You work too hard, he muttered. The boy who single-handedly rebuilt our porch ramp when the insurance turned its back on us. The man who lifted me up the stairs each night as my bedroom was perched on the second floor. His thumb pressed into a knot near my knee and I stifled a moan. Shoo! His voice carried a rugged edge. Allow me the honor of looking after you. Yet, this was not care, this was desired. I noticed it in the way his jaw clenched when my skirt slipped higher. Sense it in the quiver of his fingers as they ascended further. As his hand ventured toward my thigh, I seized his wrist with a firm grip. We stood still, caught in the moment. His pulse throbbed beneath my fingertips. Once upon a time, urged me to cease, a quest, a heartfelt request. I ought to have spoken up. I ought to have pushed him aside, sought the help of a therapist, and acted as if this moment had never occurred. Yet, I chose not to. I was unable to, and so, I released my grip on his wrist. His kiss was anything but gentle. It was a blaze of passion and a clash of determination, fueled by 19 years of unquenchable desire. His hands tangled in my hair as he pulled me closer to him. Our lips collided with such fervor as if this was the sole means by which we could draw in air. I inhaled sharply, my fingers gripping his shoulders tightly. We are already here. He gently caught my lower lip, sending a jolt of electricity coursing through me. Do you sense that? There we are. And oh, how I felt it with every fiber of my being. The firm pressure of him against my hip. The way my body curved toward him, reminiscent of a blossom seeking the warmth of the sun. This was not right. Such a misstep. Yet when his tongue brushed against mine, all that filled my mind was a yearning for more. We found ourselves lost in the moment, never quite reaching the bedroom. Jace held me firmly against the couch, his hips pressing down as I desperately tugged at his shirt. The fabric ripped at the collar, yet neither of us gave it a second thought. Behold me, he growled. When I took action, the sight before me left me in pieces. There was something deeper in his gaze. It was love. The kind that shatters bones. The kind that etches its mark deep within. In the stillness that followed as we lay entwined, the weight of reality began to seep into our shared moment. Jace danced his fingers in gentle, idle circles on my bare shoulder. Are you all right? Absolutely not. Indeed. He sensed the truth hidden behind my words. Just as I had anticipated, he felt no remorse. At last, when he found his voice once more, it was so soft that I nearly let it slip away unnoticed. From the tender age of 15, my heart has longed for you. My stomach plummeted. For that signified that this was no mere coincidence. It was a foregone conclusion. Some silences resonate more profoundly than spoken words. The morning arrived, radiant and piercing. I stirred from my slumber before Jace did. The burden of our actions settled upon me, heavy and palpable as if it were a tangible presence. The sheets retained his scent, a lingering reminder of his presence. Like the essence of hard work, the grit of labor, and an unmistakable touch of masculinity. My child. My beloved. Oh, what have we done? He discovered me in the kitchen. Lost in thought as I gazed at the coffee maker. Greetings, he whispered, his voice gravelly from slumber. I averted my gaze from him. It was unbearable to witness the softness reflected in his gaze, the gentle warmth that was never meant to exist. Mother, a gentle touch upon my shoulder. Cozy. Known. Incorrect. I recoiled. The pain that flickered in his eyes pierced deeper than the sharpest blade. We danced around one another like celestial bodies in a vast expanse, each tracing our own path yet forever drawn to the other, that individual. As he moved past me, his fingers would lightly graze mine, a subtle attempt to draw my attention each time he handed me something. Myself. With each soft expression of gratitude, barriers begin to dissolve. And if you would be so kind, please pass the salt. By dinner, the atmosphere was so charged it felt almost suffocating. It feels as though I'm being subjected to a trial. He finally spoke, gently nudging his plate aside. I am safeguarding our journey. From where does it all begin? From this. My voice faltered. From the gazes of those around us, if they were to uncover the truth. From the shame that will consume us if we allow this to persist. His jaw clenched with intensity. I hold my head high. You shall become. On that night, I could hear him moving restlessly within his chamber. The floorboards groan beneath his presence. Every footfall reverberates softly through the delicate barriers. And then, a hush fell over the scene. The door creaked open, revealing what lay beyond. Moonlight cascaded over the bed, illuminating him as he stood there bare-chested. His chest rose and fell with an urgency that spoke of untold tales. I cannot feign. He spoke with a raspy voice. Not alongside you. My determination shattered, for I was equally unable. Silence enveloped us as he made his way across the room. No need to. Each gentle caress, each fleeting gaze, each tattered breath whispered truths that words could never convey. Thus began our unraveling. And we plunged in without hesitation. A year has passed. The whispers among the neighbors linger on, recounting tales of our remarkable closeness. What a devoted son, Mrs. Calloway remarks at the grocery store, forever tending to his mother's needs with such devotion. With a gentle smile, I find myself adjusting the new wedding band that now adorns my left hand. The one who remains unchallenged, for single mothers, it seems, never find their way back to marriage, do they? As we stroll toward the car, Jace's fingers intertwine with mine, creating a moment that feels both tender and timeless. No one gives it a second glance. No one truly understands, and that's precisely how we prefer it. And so, the tale shall unfold further.